Hey everybody, Leeroy from Leeroy Gaming here, and today I got a special Outriders video for you. I've been working so hard on this. I have finally perfected the Mechanist. This is the mecha of Technomancer creation. This anomaly build, tri-turret build, is ridiculous. It is downright almost indestructible. It does insane DPS. Not only does it clear CT15s on gold with ease, it can actually solo two-man CT15s on gold with minutes to spare depending on the map. So in this video, I'm going to be providing extensive information on the build, on the skill, armors, weapons, and I'm also going to give you a gameplay tutorial of how to play with 3 different possible weapon options depending on what you have for this build. Now, later on, we will also be showing you a full-on playthrough that I did of a 2-man, basically solo CT15. So if you want to see the proof in the pudding, check that out. Now, finally, I'm doing something very, very special here for my subscribers. Starting this very Monday, I'm going to be streaming Outriders on Twitch. I'm going to be farming CT15s, and you, my viewers and subscribers, are going to be able to join me and get free carries. You heard that right. And you do not have to be level 30 or level 50 gear. If you got messed up by the bugs, guys, come and join me. If you have no loot or you're playing an alt, I can do that for you. If you're brand new level 30 and need some help, or maybe you're stuck on CT10, CT11 or 12 and you need that extra boost, come on board. Now watch all the way to this video for instructions, okay? There's going to be full-on instructions, but make sure you watch the entire video. Now finally, guys, I know I'm known for my long-form videos. Some of you may love that. For the rest of you, I got really, really good timestamps below. That should help out, right? So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Now let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now we're going to go ahead and get started by looking at the skill and the skill tree. This is going to be pretty quick and easy. We're using the Blighted turret. We're going to be using Cold Snap. And we're going to be using Cryo turret. Those are the 3 actual skills. And with the skill tree, it's going to be a pretty traditional tech shaman with a couple of key things to point out. So very important, we want to get exposing toxins as well as the marked for execution. So this is going to make toxic to vulnerability, 40% stronger vulnerability. We're going to go down here, picking up wipeout, 20% damage extra to mobs below 30% health. That's huge. And we're going to get adrenalized antenna. So in groups or even for solo, whenever we drop our decay, basically our Blight turret, we're going to be buffing anomaly power for the whole group. And we spam this every like 5 to 6 seconds. So we're good on that. Also, we're getting exposing frost and that second vulnerability. So this is going to increase our vulnerability by 80% total. And everything is going to be marked by either of our turrets or our abilities. And even though vulnerability got nerfed, this is still going to be 27% vulnerability post-nerf, the strongest vulnerability that any class can provide. Moving on, we're going to provide Doctor of Medicine, so everybody gets 20% extra heal. And overclocked, again, whenever we drop a gadget, which is going to be constantly, we're going to be given ourselves a permanent anomaly and weapon damage boost of 40%. And in theory, if we were to ever die, we could come back from the dead, but we're not going to die. Now, I did want to point out a response to a couple comments. Medical unit would be nice, but we just don't have room for it. That's the main thing here. And senior engineer is complete waste. If you're new to this, this sounds really cool when you're a beginner. It's useless. You're going to be spamming those turrets. They're never going to die, really. And then everything else pretty much is min-maxed here. If you have really, really weak gear, in theory, I could see you getting a Vitality Magnet for a little extra skill leech if you're struggling with that. But the problem is you'd have to give something up. So, you know, giving up 15% cooldown is a little rough, but that's the only thing I could see swapping out on this build. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the gear. Now we're going to start with armor. And as of every anomaly build, it is extremely gear specific. If you're just starting out, I recommend a weapon, a firepower base build. In fact, check out in my description the video. I have a full guide for leveling from 1 to CT15 for the traditional blight bullet kind of builds. Very super easy. But I will tell you this right off the bat. These anomaly builds I'm building, this one and some of the new ones, are so much more fun, but they are gear dependent. What I have here is what I believe are min-max gear. So this is what you want to strive for. We're going to start with the one and only legendary requirement, and that's the cranium of a lost creature. A key here, you're going to notice every piece of loot is going to have anomaly power. We're going to be having 4 out of 4 pieces going to have cooldown reduction, and we're also going to have consistent skill life leech. So the reason we have this one here is we want power assimilation. This is huge. We're going to be getting between 11,000 and potentially 33,000 anomaly. Euthanizer is huge, 25% to toxic damage, or enemies that are affected by toxic damage. So this is really huge because all your guns, your abilities, your dots, everything that does 25% damage if something is impacted by toxic. For the chest, very important, anomaly power, cooldown reduction, status power. Hail shots, tier 1, this is a requirement. Make sure you get this initially rolled. You don't want to manually roll this because your cryo turrets are going to do bonkers DPS. You're going to have 2 of them, and they're going to be one of the top forms of DPS for you. And scaling of your status power, which you're going to have a ton of, is also important. And an Icicle Storm, this is why you need to put this mod on there manually. Also, a huge amount of damage whenever things get frozen. With your Cold Snap, you're going to AoE blast and create huge chain reactions. Next, we have Interrogator's Trousers, baseline Ice Trap. This is one of 2 defensives you're going to have. I really like this one. You could have different in theory, but the fact that we do more damage to frozen targets, so AoE freezing things is huge, and also Shatter. Perfect here. We're adding 25% more damage against enemies afflicted by freeze. And again, between your turrets, your huge status power rating, which is going to make it so things get frozen for longer, your turrets and your abilities are going to do a ton of damage. Next, we have Epic Bracers, or Gloves rather. Anomaly, Skill Life Leech, cooldown reduction. Captain Hunter, again, 25% damage, all type of damage against elites. Huge, amazing ability. And you're going to have emergency stance. So this is your other oh shit button, the golem ability. So again, between when you get below 30, you're going to get this huge damage reduction buff, and you're going to freeze everything. So that covers you for 4 seconds. You're going to heal up to full within a second or 2, which is because of your turret DPS and healing. So you're covered. You don't need anything else for defense. Finally, you have the boots that have anomaly power, cooldown reduction, and a status power. Twin turrets is absolutely huge. It says 2 turrets can be placed before triggering a cooldown. This can be confusing. This doesn't mean like most abilities where you can just spam them and they replace each other. You can actually have 2 of them out simultaneously, which is absolutely huge. And then Untamed Power. This is amazing. This is very important to the build. Basically, anytime you use a skill, you do at this level with this amount of stats I have, 36,000 damage to enemies AoE. So this not only does AoE damage to clean up ripraff, and sometimes you'll have somebody that's almost dead and frozen after your icicle ability, your cryo snap ability, and this will kill them off, and they'll blow up and cause a chain reaction. Also, because you heal off of all your skill damage, this is like an AoE heal. So basically, anytime you spam any ability, drop any of your turrets, or use your cold snap, you're going to be healing. Really, really good for sustain. Now, with all these stats, let's take a real quick at my stat line. So again, I have my firepower. It doesn't matter. I don't do very much damage with my guns. Our anomaly power is 120k. Now, it could have been higher, but instead of getting things that stack my anomaly power, it's a little deceptive. Because remember, I have up to 75% damage against things that are basically frozen, have toxin on them, and if they're elites. And again, everything that's not elite is going to die instantly. So elites will, by default, they're going to get toxic on them almost instantly, and they're going to be elites. So that's a baseline 50% damage. And as soon as they get frozen, which will be pretty consistently, except for when they're immune temporarily, they're also going to be frozen because of your turrets. And so that's 75% extra damage. This doesn't get shown here. But even with that, this is over a 2,030% skill damage bonus. Now, status power is 120% basically. Now, this increases damage to burning, Burning toxic bleed. In our case, it's going to help with toxic. It's going to make so our freeze and our vulnerability also last as long as possible. And this is very, very important because status power is extra damage on your toxic on top of your bonus from your anomaly power. So you're going to notice our toxic damage is insane. Our armor is not that high, 57, 58k. But what's going to keep us alive is those cooldowns that will protect us, and also we self-heal automatically. Even if we get knocked down, our turrets keep firing, they keep healing. It's amazing. And our life leech, weapon life leech is 20, which is fine. That's just baseline, pretty much. We have just 5% bonus. But we have 33% skill life leech. That's plenty. You could sacrifice some cooldown to get this, but we don't want to sacrifice cooldown. Notice, our global cooldown reduction is 30%. Because we've maxed out the stats. Remember, you have to go to crafting and max them out. In addition to that, let's not forget on the skill tree here, we also got 30% to gadgets, which is huge. So if you look at my skills, my cold snap is 13.5 seconds. This innately is about 26 seconds. And our turret is 11.9 seconds. Again, this is normally 20-some seconds. And then we have 5.4 seconds for bright turret. So the blight turret is spammable. This is almost as spammable. And this literally feels spammable. And you'll see why this 13.5 second cooldown is so very important, how it synergizes with our weapons. Speaking of weapons, there are 3 options that you can have for your primary weapon. The first and best in slot is going to be Damascus offering for 2 reasons. Number 1, it has the best stats for a build that is an anomaly build. Notice it has skill life leech and status power. These things are going to impact your dots and your debuffs, etc., and also going to help you heal from all your other effects. Your damage from weapons is going to be almost non-existent, but crit damage of all the other stats is pretty much the best. Fortress is huge. Fortress is going to make it so that we're going to be basically getting a 43% damage bonus passively to everything, our turrets, our abilities, etc. And because we do most of our damage with that, we don't care about buffing our weapon damage. Also, Claymore is quite effective. It has a huge AoE range. It targets 4 targets. The damage isn't as good as some of the other procs, and it's a 4-second cooldown. But the way we play, we can time it to where we can maximize this, and this still ends up being a huge part of our damage when you see the stat sheet at the end of the run. Now, the secret to this build, in addition to all the gear, the armor, is the anomaly. Now, you have to have this weapon, okay? This weapon is a secondary weapon. It's going to basically act as a thermal detonator. And I'll explain to you when we play it. The reason we have to have this is we need the moaning winds to be innate, okay? Because we need to put Fortress on it. Why? Because when we swap, what happens is that Fortress from the primary weapon gets disabled unless we have it on this weapon. And that couple seconds that we stay on this weapon, we would lose too much DPS from our turrets. I mean, 43%. And our other abilities that we spam. Plus, so that is kind of like a fail-safe for us. But the Moaning Winds is amazing. Now notice, reloading creates a strong blast around you, dealing almost 400,000 damage to enemies with a range of 8 meters. And it's got an 8-second cooldown. So let me give you a really quick preview of how this is going to work. Basically, you're going to make sure at the beginning of a run, you're going to just shoot one bullet out of the chamber, swap to your primary weapon. You're going to run up to enemies. You're going to tag them to proc the Claymore Torrent. Then we're going to be kind of spamming an average 1 ability. That'll give us a couple seconds. Reproc Clay Torrent. As soon as things surround us, we're going to go and you're going to drop your Cryo Freeze. So this is going to, in a huge range, freeze everything. Immediately, you're going to swap weapons to your anomaly, yes, and you're going to hit reload. It's going to blow everything up around you. It's going to hit for like 1 million+ damage AoE. And then allow it to reload, shoot once, and swap back over. Rinse and repeat. So basically, this debuff goes off every 8 seconds. technically, you could try and min-max this counting in your head, but the way I do it is I go based off my my cryo freeze, my cold snap cooldown. So I basically plan to use it every 13 to 14 seconds. Freeze, use this. By the time my my freezing ability is back, the cold snap is back, I already know because it's been more than 8 seconds. This is up. Swap over, rinse, and repeat. It takes a little bit to get used to, but it's ridiculously powerful, and you'll see in my tutorial video that I'm going to be also posting how to clear and utilize this effectively. Finally, as of my last build, you got to have the Torment and Agony. And again, you will never need to use this, but the fact that you're bringing Torment and Agony on these poor monsters, it just, you got to add that insult to injury. So yeah, get this, make sure it's level 50. Mainly, don't forget that even if you never use it, you still need it to be item level 50 because it impacts your average item level. And my goodness, anomaly power scales as well as hit point scale with your average item level. So just get this to level 50. Technically, you can have whatever you want, but to be just perfect and thematic, have that on there. So that is the primary gear. Now, if you don't have this, there are 2 other viable options I found that are kind of similar. You have Funeral Pyre. And so this one, again, notice Fortress yet again. This one's a little easier to use because just every 3 seconds, you're going to have a shadow comment. It does more damage. It's double the damage, but it's a 3-second cooldown. Now, you may say, Leeroy, why isn't it just superior overall? Because it's the other one's 4 seconds. This one is 3 seconds, and this one does more damage. Well, it doesn't have very good stats. So the reason we like the Damascus offering is it has status power and skill leech, life leech. Here we have crit damage, which is the same. Healing received is okay, but it has close range damage. We really do want as much status power as possible, honestly. Also, this is close ranged. What I like about the Damascus offering is you can kind of snipe things and mark them and kind of kill things off that are basically hanging back and not coming up to you. And here you got to run up a little closer. But some people like the playstyle better, and it's statistically not that much weaker. You might just like the playstyle, so it's totally viable. The third option, and so the Funeral Pyre was an automatic shotgun. You have Darkness Chambers, which is a pump action shotgun. Again, this actually has decent stats. It has status power, which is the big thing, has weapon life leech, which isn't going to help you much, and close range damage was not a big deal. It has Fortress, but it has also a different playstyle. It has Grand Opening, so landing a hit with the first bullet in a magazine creates a powerful explosion, dealing 260,000 damage AoE, 1 second cooldown. This is deceiving, though, because what you got to do is in this playstyle, and I'll show you how to do it, you shoot, it goes off, then you have to manually reload, and it's a 2.1 second reload, which sucks, and you can do it again. So really, the cooldown on this is about 2.1, 2.5 seconds in reality, and you have to manually reload. Now, the fourth and final weapon option is technically going to be the Juggler. Now, I actually don't have it right now. I broke it down to get the Scrap Grenade mod, and I haven't found it again. I'm right now just going to, because it is an assault rifle, I'm going to kind of simulate utilizing the Infernal Seed weapon when I teach it. So what makes the Juggler great really is it has Scrap Grenade built in, so you can add Fortress to it. That's rule number 1. And really the other thing is it has a 1.5 second base reload speed. So it's going to have a faster reload speed than the shotgun option that we looked at. And that's going to make all the difference, because you'll notice again back here of the Darkness Charmer, it has a superior actually AoE blast, more damage, but it's a 2.1 reload speed, while the assault rifle is going to have a 1.5 second reload speed. And so again, otherwise they're almost identical, but the playstyle is going to be the same, just a longer cooldown. So you're still going to do a single shot, reload, do a single shot, reload when you're not swapping over to the anomaly. And again, we're going to go ahead right now, and I'm going to show you how to actually play with these in a match. All right, so we're going to go ahead and test this out on an expedition. So the way you're going to initiate combat is you're just going to shoot something. See, it procced the effect. Now all of a sudden you're gonna drop your first like dot. All right, and now you're gonna freeze everything. Swap over. I'm doing it in slow motion. Hit R to make sure you have one out. Look at that, 1.2 million. Now you've reloaded. Make sure you unload one bullet and swap back over. Now again, you're gonna go back to here. You're gonna block that effect, the anomaly effect. Spawn another one. Now the cooldown's down again. We're gonna go and freeze. Swap back over. Reload. Everything dies. 1.3 million on those. Make sure you unload one bullet so you can reload when you come back. And you're gonna rinse and repeat. And now I'm going kind of slow motion again, just to simulate. Freeze everything. Swap over. Reload. Kill everything. All right, get it? All right, so let me go a little real speed for a second. So again, swap back over. Everything is just dying too fast on this CT15. Get within range. Everything dies. Swap over. Again, we're just shooting once or twice, so we don't have to do it when we swap over and we're ready to go. Again, I'm constantly dropping different type of turrets. And then as soon as the other things are cooldown, boom, that's where you're doing the majority of your damage. Oh, don't even get a chance. And again, I'm not doing this run for efficiency or anything like that, just for coaching. All right. So let me run away for a second here. And we're going to switch weapons. Okay. Now swap to the funeral pyre. So very similar tactic. Make sure you have at least one bullet gun out of your secondary weapon. Run up. Go ahead and proc your comet. Okay, there's the comet, right? Dropping. Running up. AoE freeze. Swap. Okay. Make sure you reload one bullet. Proc the comet. Drop your next in line. There's another comet. And again, we're not doing any really damage with the actual shotgun blast. It's just all about proccing the comet. Oh, look at all these lovely people dying almost instantly. There was an elite we just almost killed like in 2 seconds. Okay. Again, it's all about the timing, getting the rotation down. Make sure you swap over. Get that blast going. Just like that. You can spam multiple turrets. And as you get more comfortable, again, you're just gonna get quicker. You're gonna become instinctive of how you cast these. Now we're gonna go ahead and swap over to the final weapon, or the next weapon, the third weapon, to the shotgun. So this has the most unique playstyle, right? So remember, it's always the first bullet, so you gotta be reloaded. So the way it works, it's always when I initiate with these, throw out a turret or two, get your shotgun, does huge damage, and then you gotta reload. You can do the same freeze. All right, let's go to the next section, we'll continue. All right, here's another batch of enemies, so let's test this out. Throw this out. There we freeze. There you go. Make sure you fully reload before you swap weapons. Drop your turret, and remember, you can be reloading while you run. Drop a turret as you reload. And yeah, unfortunately, you do have to manually reload. But so this one, if you're close range, feels really, really good. Right? I don't do this one as much, so I'm not as natural doing it. But the proof is in the pudding, right? So AoE freeze. Again, I forgot to reload previously, so there I have to wait for that silly reload. Okay, there you go. There's that. There we go. There's the AoE again. Okay, swapping back over. There we go. Everything dies. Okay, and then let's go finally. This is going to simulate the Juggler. Again, please, I apologize. You're seeing the Infernal Seed instead, but it's the same type of weapon. So again, it's going to feel a little different because you're going to go and you're going to basically shoot the first bullet, you're still gonna freeze. You're still gonna your AoE blue. There you go. Reload. Yeah, make sure you get one shot off. Then you're back to here. Do a full mag round, right? There you go. And it's gonna do the effect. Loved it. Okay, they died even before I could even do my ability, which is kind of nuts. Okay. Dropping our items. Reload. Okay. Then you gotta reload. It's up over. With this one, for whatever reason, with the assault rifle, sometimes it seems to bug out. I don't know why, but that's the idea. And again, notice it's not my favorite. The other three options I like feel a lot better because they're that initial shot is so much chunkier. While here you're never really never spamming. You're hitting one, reloading, one, reloading. There's the effect. One. So not nearly as effective. Again, I want to do the soloing 2-player content. Hey guys, it's Leeroy with a quick interruption to provide you with the key phrase that you're going to need to get your free CT15 carry. Now, if you're doing exactly what you're supposed to and watch the whole video from the beginning till the end, then you haven't gotten to the last part of the instructions. So just note what I'm about to say. And if you've come back here because you went all the way to the end thinking the instructions were going to be that simple, well, shame, shame, shame on you. But here you are after all. So this is what's going to happen. When I call out to you, you're going to and pick you to be the person I want to carry. Again, you're going to message me on Instagram. If you are one of those people that doesn't have Instagram, let me know. I could technically back up to a Twitter message, but just get Instagram. That's easier. So you're going to message me and in the instant message, you're going to give me your name that's in chat and also the answer to the question that I'm going to ask, which is, how hard do you think this is going to be? And the answer you're going to give me is the now famous meme quote. It's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience. So again, super easy, barely an inconvenience is the secret phrase, guys. I'm trying to make this fun for people. Hopefully, don't spoil it for others. Don't put it in chat. Don't put it in the comments because then I'll have to delete it. Again, this is, again, something to get people to interact with the video a little bit more. And hopefully, I'm guessing there's going to become a time when a lot of people are going to want carries, and I'm only going to be able to do 1% at a time and can maybe do 4 or 5 carries an hour at best. So it's a way that the people that put the extra effort and give back by watching the video, they're going to get priority on the carry. So hope you guys appreciate that. Now, let's get back to the video.
Vanguard. Yeah. Nice.
All right, guys, after that insane run, we're going to do a quick breakdown of the stats, just so you can kind of see how it all breaks down. So as you can see here, over 300 million damage done. And then versus the other individual not doing anything on purpose, over 1 million damage healed from skills. And then the biggest damage source is that actually mod of my secondary weapon, as I called it, the thermal detonator. But you also see huge damage from the cryo turret. Don't underestimate the toxic turret, because you got to add the toxic damage to the toxic turret. And then a variety of the other mods perform really, really well. Again, showing, look at those abilities, how consistent, and we killed everything but one unit. Beautiful. All right, guys, you guys made it to the end of the video. So, as promised, here are the instructions of how you can get free CT15 carries from me. Now, you've watched the whole video, right? You haven't just skipped to the timestamp to the end, right? Well, we'll see about that. So, very simple. Number one, please make sure to hit a like on this video and subscribe. Tremendously helps me, and hopefully if you're getting free carries out of this and you're hopefully learning from these videos, then it's worth the subscription to you. If not, I understand, but hopefully it is. Number two, make sure you follow me on Twitch and Twitter. So during my streams, the way it's going to work is when you come to the streams, you're going to ask, people are going to be asking for carries. I'm going to call out on people, and there's going to be 2 steps that you're going to need to do. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, and I say, well, what's the, I'm going to ask you, how difficult do you think this run is going to be? And then what you need to do is you're going to need to DM me, because you're also going to need to DM me if you're playing on Steam, I'm going to need your name so I can add you as a friend and invite you to the group. If you're going to cross-play on Xbox or PlayStation, then I'm going to be sending you a link through DMs to join. Through the interface for the crosslink. Either way, we're not going to do that publicly in chat for obvious reasons. So you're going to want to message me on Instagram. That's preferred. If you don't use Instagram, you can do Twitter. I'll have both available. And within there, you're going to tell me the secret phrase. Now, you know the secret phrase, right? Well, if you watch the entire video, you notice there was an intermission. You could not have missed it. I pop up in the middle of this video, and I tell you what that phrase is. If not, go and rewatch it. I know. Hopefully you find it a little fun. It's a bit of an Easter egg hunt. And again, because I assume that there's going to be a good amount of people that want to get these carries, I can only do so many of them per hour. So it's a little bit of a hurdle, but hopefully it's fun. Please don't spoil the answer in the comments. I'll delete it. I'm trying to make this fun. I'm not going to be an a-hole about it. If somebody, I'm sure I'll let people sometimes join me, especially if it's towards the end of the night, or if there's not that many people on stream. But I figured this is fun. Watch the video. It's going to be very obvious. In the middle of a video, I'm going to cut to me providing you this information. Write that down. Come to the stream. Ask in the Twitch chat for that carry. And then if I call you out, then you're going to DM me on Instagram. And all my, obviously, social media information is below. And then I'll get you invited to the group, and we're going to do a run. Now, as I note on my streaming channel, I appreciate donations. It helps me out tremendously. It is not required. You don't have to. There's no pressure. It helps out. I definitely do appreciate it, but you don't have to. So I hope that helps. I hope you take advantage of this. I'm going to be streaming starting this Monday, 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2 sessions earlier in the day, 2 sessions later in the evening. So hopefully you can come and join me. Again, this is Leeroy from Leeroy Gaming. I'll see you in the next video, and hopefully I'll see you in my Twitch channel and in game as we crush some CT15s together. See you guys.